Welcome back!
ladies
It's time
and
for the
gents?
final!
Yes, Marcus! I cannot emphasize how pumped I am for this final series for two reasons, Marcus. Are you ready for them in order?
I'm ready. In order. Number
one, CreatorPrime has just had probably the most meteoric rise in the history of StarCraft 2 thus far. He has just been kind of quietly and then just soared up. All the Koreans talk about how they hate playing him. Top 3 in WCS Korea, now here in the finals. And life, with an amazingly solid mid and late game style, we haven't gotten to see his straight up ZVP yet. We saw a goofy series against the LP, which showcased creative problem solving on the fly, but we haven't yet seen what his ZVP's about.
Yeah, I mean, CreatorPrime is on a tear, and he's a player that excites me. Like, even in the already super evolved metagame of Wings of Liberty, it's always the Protoss players that continue to impress me over and over. You know, squeezing out every little last bit of control, unit composition. I mean, they're really impressing me the most. And, of course, versus Zerg, right, where there was this huge, how does Protoss defeat Zerg? Like, we've got this style that's really difficult, and, you know, here he is overcoming his best win percentage, being against Zerg. 71%, 64 games won,
so
26 games lost. Like, that is insane. That's the kind of thing that as a Zerg player, I want to stay as far away as possible.
You know, I can't agree enough. That statement that he's conquered the matchup that a lot of Protosses are like, I don't want to do it. Just any matchup but this one. But CreatorPrime, his style that I so hope we get to see today. Well, actually, it would be weird if he reinvented his PvZ because it's just doing so well. It is a mobility-based PvZ. You're going to see the same units, Stalker, Sentry, Immortals, but what you'll see is when other players would start to go for the Colossus or start to turtle up, he adds on more gateways, and he keeps shoving. And interestingly, throwing in Dark Templar as part of his core composition at the very late game. Because if you think about it, if you have no food into Colossus, you have that many more Stalkers that can blink up and pick off the limited amount of Overseers there. And these DTs, in the midst of these huge battles, have been the ones killing off the Infestors, doing massive damage. And CreatorPrime always does a 16 to 17 minute timing push right before Broodlord.
Now, it also says on their screen here that life against Protoss, known to mix in several all-ins, like 6 pulls or you know, Nidus strats. And we have seen some of these before. But in a best of 7, we kind of go back to what we were talking about in Keen versus Sting, where you know, sometimes the momentum will play a big part of that, where they're at in the series, up, down, whether or not we'll see those types of strategies at all. But still, as one of the youngest players here, and 15 years old, that is impressive. And these are the guys that scare the hell out of me, Sean. Like, the guys that they're able to do this well in a tournament, like, how are they going to be in 2 years when they start, you know, getting even more mature in their mental thinking, their ability to develop strategies? And then it's awesome to think about. I
mean, CreatorPrime is 16. And StarCraft Life is 15. I mean, CreatorPrime may have had his 17th birthday recently, and I didn't know about it. But these are people that aren't even allowed to buy lottery tickets in America, and they're at the top of their game, Marcus.
Yeah, they can't get those little scratch-offs. Look, I got 3 cherries. It's at least 5 new tickets to do. They can't do that.
And I bet you when they turn 18, they won't even buy them because they're like, this isn't skill-based enough. Or maybe they will figure it out, and they'll both win millions, Marcus. That's the caliber of player that we're referring to today.
I agree. Now let's talk a little bit about predictions, what the internet is saying, how they feel like this is going to go. Put your ear up to the wall, and I really feel like CreatorPrime is the guy that most people are looking to take this series.
I mean, I 100% agree. In looking at his statistics at this tournament, CreatorPrime has lost 2 total maps. M-A-P-S, not matches, maps. In his entire run. It's been 3-0, 3-0, 4-0, 4-2, and now he's in the finals. I honestly would be surprised if he lost more than 2 games again in this series. But, Marcus, what are people saying about Life? I mean, are there people out there going, well, Life honestly has the key to break Creator?
No, I feel like people are like, hey, life is good, but man, you seen Prime play PVZ? Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking. So it's not a negative. It's not a negative assessment of the matchup at all. I think it's a celebration of how great CreatorPrime is in this particular matchup, and whether or not Life, knowing that information, can do anything differently, devise anything differently, because they've had some time to plan for this matchup, and you know that's where maybe something could come into play, but. Like you said, you don't just devise metagame out of nothing, right? You don't just, well, gosh, no one's figured it out. It does evolve and switch up over time, but, you know, can Life actually put something together? I think that's what most people are saying. No, it's going to be CreatorPrime.
But honestly, the last bit of sort of from the left field analysis I want to make before we get to hop into game one, Marcus, is to look at StarTale Life's win percentages in Zerg versus Zerg.
Yeah.
There's a very odd thing that if you think about where players have their best win rates or not, it's very common to see players who have strong win rates in the non-mirrors but struggle in the mirror. And in mirror matchups, the weird question is, where the hell does my edge lie? Because we're both building the same damn units. And it's very difficult to figure out where to get that edge, because it differs in all those circumstances. Sometimes maybe you have more lings, sometimes more banelings, sometimes the drone lead, sometimes the queen lead. Where do you get that edge? Given that CreatorPrime has kind of defined a newer style, I do think that StarTale Life's ability to find those weird edges in weird situations can give him the opportunity to create a new style to solve against CreatorPrime.
All right. Well, we're going to be locked and loaded, man. We're going to be hopping into game one here in just a second. We're kicking things off on Ohana, moving to Entombed, Daybreak, Antigua, Metropolis, Cloud Kingdom, and back to Ohana. And before we get started with game number one, Sean, it's time to announce the winner of the grand prize raffle. This guy's like winning a trip. He's going to get to hang out with all sorts of cool people, experience the world of esports and StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I mean, I want to emphasize again. Yes. He gets a free trip to a major event, completely all expenses paid, in addition to his t-shirt and his posters and his chances to hang out with everyone. Like you said, Marcus, that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get to go somewhere in a country he doesn't even live to go to a StarCraft tournament.
All right, yep, and the winner is Jay Woos. Jay Woos.
Jay Woos.
J-W-O-S-E, Jay Woos is the winner. I'm not sure where you're going, but you're going to have fun, man.
He's going to get some heavy say in it, actually, Marcus. It's a little special treat for him, where he gets esports on his own terms. And Marcus, so do we now. Marcus, you know what is the greatest glory of casting?
What's that?
We get the front row seat.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We get to be like those two old Muppets who heckle about the show. Okay. No one watches Muppet. They're like, what the hell's a Muppet anyway?
Yeah, I know those guys. Those yo. Like, well, Marcus, I like to call this a medium build, because it's not rare, and it's definitely not well done.
Exactly. Yo. Yeah, that's it. Are you ready, guys? The TSL4 finals. It's going to kick off right here. Ohana is going to be our first map. Will it be StarTale Life, or will it be his opponent, CreatorPrime? We're about to find out, Sean. Let's kick it off. We're going into map one on Ohana. And we are live. The finals kicks off now. It is a Zerg versus Protoss matchup. Let's introduce our players and jump right into the game. In the northwest position as the blue Zerg. Some say he's the underdog in this matchup. can he pull it out? From Team StarTale, it is Life! Oh, Life, I love you. I love you, Life.
And down in the bottom right corner, heralded as the new face of modern Protoss, defining a build that people will carry to their children and their children's children, Marcus. It's going to be CreatorPrime.
He's like Zealot Prime. He's so amazing. Zealot King Prime. No, this
Zealot,
is really...
yeah.
This is really... Yeah, right?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to see Stalker King Prime today, Marcus.
Stalker King Prime.
Already look at this pylon placement. He doesn't have enough range to get to that far edge.
No, he does not. And sending that probe up, going into the third right away. What? Excuse me, the natural right away. And, what? The reason I'm looking here is because Hotbid before the matchup's like, you know, keep an eye out on CreatorPrime's base setups. Keep an eye on his SimCity. And just watch for it, because something's not right with that boy. But
yeah, I mean, he has had some very unusual and oftentimes building placement that gets in the way. Drops happen in his main, and he has these odd Swiss cheese-style holes in between his buildings where Zerglings are able to slip in, but the Stalker Colossus gets totally trapped.
What will happen here? We're going to have possibly Nexus first come down here for CreatorPrime. Nope,
Well,
he goes to the front.
Very delayed Forge. Don't
Really
mind this
delayed.
play at all. Going to be able to mine, build himself a Nexus, then go Cannon, followed by Gateway if he's feeling nervous, Gateway followed by Cannon if he's feeling not nervous, Gateway Pylon Cannon if he's feeling like probes are the key to victory.
If probes are the key. And there's the Nexus going down right now. Overlord will come up to the spot, and you can see by his vision, he's already going to be seeing that pylon that just gets thrown down, as well as the Forge. He peeks up here to get a full read, and that natural has been thrown down here for Life. So, I mean, this is pretty much a very, very standard opening, but an early gas from Life.
Gas.
Yeah.
You know, before we talk about the early gas, let's talk about the big long-term picture that we're going to be seeing in the mid-game. A lot of Protosses opt to do this two-base Sentry Immortal all-in style. So Zergs have to have an answer to that. No matter what happens, the big question is, how do you get a fourth base? Either player is going to be struggling hard to do this. The question is, what is StarTale Life's opening going to be? How is he going to be going into the mid-game? Because Marcus, like you said, that is a hyper early gas.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many situations where I feel like we actually see this, and he's going to go for it. He spreads the Zerglings out, he takes one in, and he takes one hit, so 3 hits from the cannon, but he can slip around here. I think he's going to take one more hit going up the ramp. No, he avoids the hit, so you know, this is a major pain in the ass for any Protoss player. You know, 4 in is even worse, but he goes after those gas probes right away, pulling him back. He does lose a Zergling, but again, just some time lost allows him to get a good read on what's going on inside the main base, at least for a small amount of time.
This is going to be huge. Not talking about these probes in the main, or these Zerglings in the main. That's obviously going to be a big, bad detriment to CreatorPrime's build. But look at Creator sending this probe up to the third base. Marcus, he's going to see that he's up against a very non-standard build.
Yep, he is. That guy got right past him, and where is the third? And he's going to try to probably want to get inside. Now, we don't see any any Roach Warren or anything. We're still getting gas at this point. Speed is being researched. So Zerglings still inside, poking away, but of course up against a Zealots come out of that gateway. And what is like? I mean, he grabs another gas. He goes to lair. This is just totally unorthodox of a kind of style. And whether or not he knows it or not, his opponent knows that this third's not here. So something is most certainly up.
So if you don't see the third, you're thinking my opponent is either all-inning or fast layering. So you need something that defends against a variety. That would be the tech layer choice. And of course the huge attack front. That probe gets a good look at the drone count. That will always be a pretty good signal. But right now you're thinking mutas, infestors, and if you've been on the North American ladder a lot, Nidus worms.
Right, which is going to be really up to Creator to be putting these pylons around his base. There we already see one up in a pretty reasonable area to drop one. A few Lings do try to run in, and CreatorPrime You know, and I don't blame him at all. He's blocking off because, again, having seen that third, has not seen inside the main, doesn't know what's coming. There is a Stargate coming down, but without a Robo anywhere in sight either, he's going to be blind for quite a bit. And that vision, you know, all he knows is that his opponent's on 2 base right now.
I do like the choice of Stargate. It's a stupidly late Stargate. You'll have things way earlier, even a minute earlier sometimes if you're playing a bit normally. But of course, Creator getting those sentries up. The reason I like the Stargate is this Void Ray can deny the third base very easily. There's no creep spread, and yeah, there's the Void Ray getting started now. You can, there's no creep spread to that third base, so Queens won't pop in, so your opponent is either going to have to get Hydras, Corruptors / Mutas, or a hell of a lot of fungal growths down, and it looks like that's what's going to be going down for Startail Life. Look at that, Marcus. Fast Infestors.
Very fast Infestors. He's now on 4 Geysers. I mean, his drone saturation looking good. His third base is down. He only has Lings out to pretty much control the space around the front of his opponent's base. The back rocks are being taken out by CreatorPrime, so his little front wall is going to be nice defensively here for a while. And there we have a bunch more gateways coming down, as well as a Twilight Council for CreatorPrime. He's now starting to get these Phoenix out, Sean, and he will show it after killing that Overlord. But the Void Ray making its way over to the third, 2 Queens coming out. What do you think about this opening here from Life and where that's going to put him in the grand scheme of things?
Well, honestly, Life is setting himself up nicely to deal with the Blink Stalker heavy composition of Creator. We see the Void Ray there getting ready to deal damage to that hatchery. Phoenixes continue to be chrono boosted out. They're actually being rallied along the right edge. These 2 Queens are going to fall very fast unless Life can manage to get his Spore Crawlers up in time. Now, having been experimenting a lot with Zealot Archon, especially with Heart of the Swarm out right now, I can tell you this is the ideal position to go Zealot Archon. Your opponent doesn't have Roaches, Hydras, the usual responses that deal very, very well with that mix. So this would be a pretty straightforward win for Creator as he takes his third. But Creator is going for Blink play.
Yeah.
And that, I think, means that he's going to be shut down quite hard. We see 4 Infestors mid-map.
Yeah, 4 Infestors, they're going to come out, grab the 2 Phoenixes. Queen's doing some damage. They're going to have to drop a second fungal. There it is. Maybe even a third, and there it is. Both Phoenixes do fall now, and just the 1 Phoenix and the Void Ray. And for any Protoss that goes air, a loss like that is really rough early on. There's really no chance for any harassment. An Overlord got taken out at this point. You know, do you even continue the production? You can see the Stargate is idle, so the answer is probably no. There, the robotics facility is down.
I would describe it as that it stinks. It doesn't suck, it just stinks. We see those 2 Phoenixes going into the main, getting some nice scouting up. They will see everything that's up. Also, Startail Life poising himself nicely to do a transition into Ultralisks. Again, the final nail in the coffin for your Stalker Sentry mixture. And, ooh, Void Ray falling.
And a big Ling run by. A few Lings do get into the natural. They're immediately taken out. Not too bad. Just kind of throws opponents off. He force field his ramp. Now his probes can't get over the third. There they transfer in okay. And what is now up on stage here for the Zerg? He's got his double Evo going, already +2. And Ventral Sax is coming in, so that's the other big option, especially here when your opponents spread all the way out to the third. Ling attack on one, maybe drop in the main on another. Certainly there's a lot of damage potential with what we're seeing out of Life here.
Totally wicked play coming out for Life. Keep in mind, if you have +2 melee attack, Banelings kill workers in 1 hit. We also see Ventral Sax and that Overlord speed upgrade coming up, the pneumatized Carapace. But with all these expansions going down, Life is just doing a completely innovative style, Marcus. I love this. And as a result, CreatorPrime not getting to do his Blink Stalker focus play. Kind of forced to get that robotics pay because of the fact that there's so many Ling Infestor out.
Yeah, and he just shows this army forward, not really a place to attack, and I think that's smart. He's going to take out a second Observer here with a double fungal, and he does lose some energy there, but, you know, he's not using the Infestors to attack. He's taking that 4th base, and he's in a position to defend. And, of course, with Overlord speed and Sax finishing, there's some big drop potential over there into the main. The robotics bay is back there. There's only 2 pylon protecting that. So I feel like Creator, you know, in a kind of interesting position where he's got to be playing that defensive game at this point. Of course, the first Colossus are now coming out. And will we see an attack? There's the Overlord movement. A lot of Lings loaded up.
Oh man, what a great play from Life. He built those Lings to defend against a 2-base attack, but the 2-base attack didn't come. How do you make up for the fact that you have a bunch of useless Zerglings hanging around? You freaking drop with a Marcus. What a nice play. I mean, watching Life play almost feels like when Frankenstein got his senses for the first time. He hardly even knows what's going on, but it's awesome. This play, he's getting Corruptors up right now, even before he gets his Hive Tech up. And StarTale Life now moving in. CreatorPrime is completely out of position.
And there's a drop inside the main. Immediately a warp in. Now Extended Thermal Lance could be under fire, but he's going to target fire down the Nexus. A few Lings trapped inside as well. They're going to get some free hits. This Nexus is going to fall. Will he decide to go after Extended Thermal Lance next? No, he decides to fight with the probes, which is going to do some big damage in and of itself. He burrows there as well, making this a very successful attack with the Nexus gone down. Of course, there was a lot of options there, but that still is going to be rather devastating. He looked like he tried to set up for an Infestor drop too, but that did not quite play out. All in all, he kills 11 probes and kills a Nexus, as well as forces that Photon Cannon to clear out these Lings. I mean, just, that's rough.
And of course, it looks like Creator's doing the classic mantra when behind Dark Shrine. Getting that Dark Shrine down. But of course, this actually isn't because he's losing. This is because he is very, very keen on being able... Oh, wait, did he just attack one of his own probes to kill off that burrowed Zergling? That is awesome. What a cool play with the Colossus Tech. But look at this. Life gearing up to do another drop. And 18 Infestors are on the map, Marcus.
Yeah, that's totally insane, and they are getting a lot of energy right now. Here's some Zerglings swinging around. Is there a fourth? Negative. Actually, I think he pushed them too far forward. They are going to be seen right away, but there are units in both locations, and this is where suddenly CreatorPrime, having figured this out, is in a great position. He's not going to let another drop go through. In fact, he's going to go ahead and blink forward. Nice offensive blink. 1, 2, 3 Overlords. Not quite a third Overlord goes down. He saved that one. He will lose a couple of Stalkers. But he thwarts it, and that's what he needed to do, and that means that Life's going to have to go back to the drawing board. However, look at where he's at. Hive, another macro hatch. Is he got a Greater Spire yet? No, we don't see a morph of a Greater Spire. Yes, we do. It just started.
Ooh, this is the real brilliance of Life's play. What were we saying before the game? CreatorPrime loves to do 16 to 17 minute timing pushes right before that Greater Spire comes out, and CreatorPrime really hasn't had the opportunity to do that with all these Lings loaded up. Warp Prism gearing up to head towards the main, and this could do some damage.
Yeah, we're going to have a couple of DTs going into the third. He sees them there. Great fungal, and immediately evaporation of those DTs. However, now the warp in inside the main. DTs and some Zealots coming in. There's nothing here to detect inside the main, and keep in mind they could go directly for that Greater Spire. DT does eye it and is going to go for it. Meanwhile, the Infestors making their way up. It's now going to be a race against the clock. He needs to get that second DT on the Greater Spire right away, but no, moving forward. There he is. He lands the fungals. The Infestator's not out yet, but he gets rid of it.
And down and he manages to keep it alive. Wow, what a close call. Down in the bottom left corner, there was an attempted drop with the Overlord full of 2 Infestors. It didn't manage to do anything. There were Stalkers already there, and there are the 3 loyal Stalkers there holding it off. The Warp Prism gets taken down. StarTale Life kicking into action, gearing up to do a little bit of pressure with those things, with those Overlords at the right. But look at this Creator moving out with almost nothing in the middle of the map.
Yeah, what is he doing? That's, I mean, it's really bold to be able to go out like that. He's going to lose all these units here. Suddenly he's got just a little army at the fourth, a bunch of Zerglings streaming in. They'll immediately move back when they realize they can't take it without the support of the Infestors and the Corruptors.
Dropped
the Greater Spire's done.
Hard.
Big
the drop
time.
Just got totally mollywomped down there. Looks like Creator has spread out all his Colossus, and now finally he's getting to join together. It's like the end of the Power Rangers cartoon where they finally realize they can combine together into one big Zord and kill him.
And here comes the Zergling attack. Will they be able to utilize all their power, the Protoss army, to stop what is inevitably going to come? Actually, Stare the Broodlord morph is happening. A nice big Spinecrawler wall. A ton of Infestors. And how many Corruptors are left over right now? Looks like the answer is just 3. But do it.
The main base, so many Zealots getting warped in. I like this. He's using minerals to try to delay his opponent. Even though this is getting completely destroyed, this is giving CreatorPrime a little bit of leg up to get up the mothership, the Storm, the +3. He sacrificed only minerals, and with that time, he's spending it on getting really good gas units.
Mothership's coming out at the third base. He's also getting some Storm down, which he's going to need versus this heavy Zergling army. Some more units are spotted over the side. Notice the creeps almost to this far eastern side as well, which is fantastic. Looks like he's going to burrow a Ling there. So really being aware of where his opponent is, where he can possibly expand. And now this Protoss army comes together. Looking at the upgrades at 3-2 right now with +3 armor on the way. Zergling upgrades are at 2-2. 3 has not yet started. Actually, yes, it has, and no adrenal glands quite yet.
This is, I mean, just a stellar game one. It's almost as though we're seeing a typical ultra-passive ZVP, but mixed with tons of action from both players. The dropping from life. Look how responsible CreatorPrime is at clearing off the creep. It's hardly gone anywhere. But what scares me is the number of Broodlord Infestor Corruptor we see out of life. 10 Broodlords, 19 Infestors, continued Warp Prism Harass. Uh-oh. There's some sentries in here this time.
There are, but they're not going to be anywhere near that ramp to go ahead and drop down the force fields. And again, another big win coming out here by Life with that defense there. He takes out the Warp Prism and gets rid of all the units, no problem. And now with these Broodlords out, it's really going to come down to that Mothership. The Mothership's starting to gather that energy. Still has about 30 more until it can get a Vortex down. There we see some Archons coming out, and it's just going to have to be a perfect toilet to deal with this initial army. Now, is there? Yes, there is Neural Parasite on the Infestor, so a lot of chances to do that. Going to clear out this Dark Templar in the far west expansion on the Zerg side. And is that going to be an opportunity for CreatorPrime to move out? It does look like he's inching forward.
Well, it looks like there's a large drop poised to deal damage at that backside as well. A number of very tough decisions incoming. And look at this at the far right, 2 sentries boldly taking out a Spore Crawler.
And I'm afraid Creator is spread out all over the place. He's going to trap this army that went in for the 4th. Corruptors move in. The Archon's going down right now. This would be a perfect time for that drop full of Lings to go into the main because he is all over the place. He's already lost several Stalkers. And that base is going down. The Infestor's moving forward. The Mothership is out. It's ready for a Vortex. And here come the Broodlords.
What a dangerous engagement position. Both players really trying to get up a CreatorPrime starting his fifth. There, it looks like the huge drop starting to incoming. Oh man, Life is moving in. And at the same time, the huge engagement up at the top side. It's going to be a double attack. Storm's going down, CreatorPrime pulling back. The drop is going to do massive damage.
Massive damage. Where's the warp in? Only 2 units. There's another cycle coming in. Actually, some great placement here of the cannons. And look at the defense on that. Only 1 cannon goes down. The DTs also do a hell of a good job. And the Zerg's going to go into position to take out this third. He's got to be careful going for that Mothership immediately. He knows there's a Vortex there. There's the Fungals on top of everything. And he does manage to get a few of the Broods, but was it enough?
He's gotten some of them. He's also gotten some of the Corruptors. The Infestors are taking huge damage. He's managed to get the control of the Mothership, but that was a terrible play. He is losing almost all of his Infestors. He was once at 19, is now down to just 5. Everything emerges, but is cloaked. He can't see. He can't see any of the things. The toilet gets completely thwarted by that great Neural Parasite, but was it worth it? He lost so many Infestors. Here's the blink up, Marcus.
Yeah, there's the blink forward. The Mothership is almost down, but not quite. The Infestors out of energy, and there the final Broodlords are going to be blinked down. What is the reinforcement looking like? Only 16 Zerglings. Here comes a bunch of Zerglings out from the pack, but he's going to keep them back. He's still got a few Corruptors in play as well, and the Spine Crawlers now coming in, and the supply right now is actually very close. It's all going to come down to the reinforcements.
Oh my god, this game, Marcus, just incredible control there by CreatorPrime. Life, I do think, had an excellent Neural Parasite to get that Mothership, but he lost so many of his other Infestors that now CreatorPrime's really capitalizing on everything. He was patiently waiting. Now the 5th base is up for CreatorPrime at the far right, and Life is on the back foot.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, Life decided to go for the main base with those Zerglings instead of that 5th base, and now hindsight's 20/20, but you look back on it day 9, and he should have absolutely gone for that 5th base. Causing a cancel there would have been big, and maybe would have distracted the army, but now we got a big push coming in here. There's those DTs mixed in with the army. Spinecrawler wall is there. A few more Broodlords are up, but again, the supply in favor of the Protoss. This is looking really nasty. Some great control, but there's a big Ling rung by going in for that base. And there's cannons at the front, but beyond that, not a whole lot of defense.
Oh, Life totally capitalizing on the lack of defense from CreatorPrime exactly what he needs to do to slowly step forward. Life, once again, is low on time. He needs to do anything he can to buy time to rebuild that Broodlord Infestor army. Manages to deal some hull damage to the Nexus. Loses Zerglings again, not the biggest deal. He's sacrificing minerals, which he doesn't really need, in exchange for dealing gas damage to Creator, killing an expansion.
Nice. Life trying to get that expansion up the far west side. It's killed by the Zealots. Some drones will fall as well. And now CreatorPrime gearing up to go in for this expansion on the east side. That's the 4th base of Life. However, there is a massive spine crawler wall there, and he does not want to move into that. I mean, can he put this back together? There are so many Broodlords. Is there another mothership on the way? Yes. However, it's going to only pop out of there with enough energy to basically do nothing.
A bunch of Zealots get nabbed at the right expansion. They will fall. CreatorPrime does have a lot of money, and what is he doing with that freed up food? Morphing in more High Templar for more High Templar. He is going to be in the mass Archon mode. Left expansion's trying to go up. No
doesn't Life have to attack? I mean, doesn't he have to attack? And there we see the Fungals go down. If he could kill this army, this could be huge. The mothership not out yet. In fact, he's got the army in a good position. It's now pushing back. More Fungals going down.
3 units right now, and the units lost it is neck and neck. Ordinarily, the Zerg has a much lower units lost once they get that Broodlord Infestor composition up, but Creator strikes at it with no fear. Now that the mothership is up, we see even the Sky Shark wants to hang out with it, Marcus.
It does, and you know what? It's all going to come down to, is he going to decide to neuroparasite it? Can he get that off? Can he reverse the vortex? You know, the Broodlords staying together, clumped up. Life's got to be very, very careful about how he's engaging with this army, and it is deathly close. I also noticed that there's real lack of Overseers in this army. There he morphs 3 up in the 3rd base right now, and that's, I mean, that's something that's a bit scary, but he's, yeah.
So dangerous, Marcus. This is. It almost reminds me of playing Bushido Blade.
Oh yes, I know that game.
Literally one-hit kill, man. If you end up in the wrong spot, just ever so slightly, that is going to be it. CreatorPrime now moving up. He's decided that now is the time. He does manage to get a vortex. How many Broodlords were in there? It looks like 10 whole Broodlords were in the center of that. Can he get the Neural Parasite, pull it to his side, and do the cloaking yet again? He does get it, but the storm, is it going to be enough? We see a Colossus coming from the right side, and oh my god, everything blinks forward. We see the Broodlord count not quite plummeting at the start, but certainly tumbling downward. Did Zerg do enough damage before his army died? The answer is no. GG!
No, GG! Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, what a game one.
He fungled those Archons. He was trying to keep them out of the toilet, but it honestly didn't matter because all of the Stalkers right underneath those Broodlords when they came out. And what a game, coming down to that single engagement, but also I really wonder what would have happened if Life would have gone in and attacked that 5th base from going up. I mean, the engagements mean everything in this, but if he would have been down on a base and could have kept up that harassment, who knows what would have happened. But great game by both players, and what a way to kick off the finals.
I mean, just an incredible opening from Life that could have given Creator a loss at any point. The Zergling drops. The Fast Infestor had an answer for everything. You even heard me say, yeah, I like the Fast Starport. It can shut down the 3rd base. Preemptively sending 2 queens there. Life has an answer for all those early little aggression tactics, and this is what excites me so much. Looks like Life has come to the table with a completely unique style as EVP that seems designed to deal with that stalker-heavy force the Creator keeps throwing at him. But Creator made the adjustment, Marcus, went for the Colossus, got the Archons up, got a lot of Zealots, and stayed kind of conservative with his Stalker count.
Yeah, and waited until that point, exactly like you said. I mean, it was a really solid game coming out from Creator, and him taking game number 1. The momentum's in his court. The next map is going to be on Entomb Valley. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, Entomb Valley is coming up next as we continue the TSL4 finals between Life and Creator. Stay with us.